Well, hi guys, and welcome back to another look at some of the yummy food we've been having around here lately. All these recipes, with the exception of two, are things that I haven't shown on my channel before. So stay tuned throughout the whole video here to see some really delicious meals that we've had. Maybe you'll find some inspiration or some ideas, things that you can have at your house. So we want to just go ahead and jump right on in this video with the chicken gnocchi soup. Alright, I'm starting off this chicken gnocchi soup with this mini gnocchi. I paid $1.99 for it at Home Goods. I have never seen the mini in the grocery store, so I was so excited to find that. It's kind of a tricolor, and we really like the mini gnocchi. So I also pulled out of my freezer this pesto chicken, and I put a note on there, add it to gnocchi soup, because it wasn't a ton of chicken. I knew it would be just the right amount. So in my pot here, I have a little bit of celery, carrot, garlic, and butter. I'm just going to saute that together and get started on this delicious gnocchi soup. After that kind of sautés a little bit, we are going to put in about 1/4 cup or so of flour. Just kind of stir that around to make a roux before we add in our chicken broth and some of our seasonings. I will link below a few times I have made the gnocchi soup, and so I will leave links below for those in case you want to go check those out on some other videos. So this is what I'm going to use to make my chicken broth, and I think a chicken soup is also really delicious with plenty of black pepper, so we're going to make sure and put some of that in. Next, from my deep freezer, I just pulled out this gallon bag. This actually has kale in it. The recipe calls for spinach, but I've used kale plenty of times because we grow kale in our garden and we preserve it in our freezer. Another thing, the original chicken gnocchi soup does not call for pesto, but when I made that pesto chicken and had that in the freezer, I knew that that would work just fine in the soup, and actually the pesto did give it a really good flavor, so I wanted to make sure and mention that. Alright, and so the kale goes in towards the end, as does the gnocchi. So I'm going to get in this package of the tricolor gnocchi that I have. And then the last thing you add in is the heavy cream before serving. And then you just make sure that's all stirred around, heated through. These mini gnocchi literally take no time. Even the bigger ones I think are only like 3 to 5 minutes. Like I said, I will have a recipe down below in the description box and some links to other videos where I have made this. It is such a delicious soup. You really ought to give it a try. It is so creamy and tasty, very hearty and comforting. Also, from my freezer, I pulled out 2 ciabatta rolls, broke those open and put them in the air fryer. When it came out, I just put a little garlic salt. I put a little butter on before I put them in the air fryer. Put some garlic powder actually instead of salt. Had delicious garlic bread with that, and then I made us a salad. The only thing missing at this point, I went ahead and made this part early and put it back in the fridge so it would be really cold. And then all we had to do was add on our croutons. I like to put some French fried onions on mine, and then our salad dressing. And this was an avocado ranch salad dressing. James likes to put a little extra Parmesan cheese on his soup. And this is just hearty and delicious every time. If you haven't had chicken gnocchi before, give this one a try. It is really a good soup, especially great in the winter. Alright, here's a look at another night. We had patty melts and fries. So in my skillet, I just browned up a bunch of onion slices. I chopped up an onion or two. I can't remember how many, but I wanted plenty of onion because they really cook down. And this is just ground beef I made into patties. season them with just a little bit of salt, pepper, and Worcestershire sauce. And I am just gonna cook those in the skillet until they are done. On top, I'm going to put 2 different kinds of cheese. 3 burgers are gonna get the Colby and pepper jack, which is so good, and then 3 will get the white American. Here is what they look like with the cheese on, and I'm just gonna put the lid on and let the cheese melt on these burgers. In my air fryer, I did some bacon. We like bacon cheeseburgers really well. And so I just cooked up some bacon in my air fryer. And then to make them a patty melt, you need some bread, similar to what you do with the grilled cheese. So butter on the bread. I have those there in the skillet getting toasty, and then I'm going to add the other piece and flip it over. My husband is a fan of a patty melt. I need to make these more often. I just don't remember to sometimes, but these were really delicious. The flavor from the caramelized onions are really, really good. And then I just finished off a bag of fries. I'm really into finishing off things that we have here in the house, or using what we have in my pantry, my freezer, my refrigerator, which I've been saying that in my grocery hauls if you're watching those. And so this was another night of using up some things that we had. This was so, so good. Of course, we had leftovers. James took one for lunch the next day. I think I had one for lunch the next day. They were really delicious, quick and easy and filling. My husband loves country fried steaks. This was our first time to try these fast fixins. And then I have the Sister Schubert's dinner rolls I pulled out of the freezer as well. And so I am peeling up my potatoes here. Of course, you got to have some mashed potatoes with your country fried steak. But yeah, just about any time we go out to a place that has good country fried steak, he orders that. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to give these a try. I've heard that they're really good, this and another couple of brands, but this one's the one I decided to go with. So I am going to peel up these potatoes here for our mashed potatoes, and we're going to get going on the rest of the meal. Alright, so the Fast Fixin' brand of the country fried steaks had a package of gravy in it. There were 6 steaks. I decided to leave the gravy that was in there with the country fried steak, and then just make this package that I have here to go along with it. And then next time we eat the country fried steak, of course, I'll have the gravy that's in there for that. And here's what this Pioneer brand gravy looks like already. My mashed potatoes are done. I put a little bit of parsley on top of that, salt, pepper, some steamed mixed vegetables with some butter, some cottage cheese. We have our rolls, and here are my country fried steaks in the air fryer. And if you choose to do these in the air fryer, they only take 12 minutes. Of course, you can do them other ways, bake and other ways, but 12 minutes in the air fryer is so quick. I will definitely purchase these again. We love them. Very delicious. And my 2 favorite things to serve together is mashed potatoes and cottage cheese. Yum. Those pair so well. This meal got a big thumbs up from us. It was quick and delicious. And a couple weeks ago, we had a wintertime bonfire, and I saw these Conn's hot dogs, official hot dog of the Cincinnati Reds. I don't remember seeing those at Kroger or Walmart. This was at Meijer, so I had to pick those up. I have cousins who say these are the best hot dogs, and they were really good. And so we had some left over after the bonfire, so I just fried those up in a skillet. I just put some chili, cheese, mustard. I had green onion already chopped, did some fries in the air fryer, and just made a chili cheese dog type of quick meal that was very delicious. Tonight for dinner, I am trying a new recipe. It's a chicken and dressing casserole. In this pan here, or this dish, this is that La Crusade that I told you guys about in the last video that was like an $80 baking dish that I got for $4.99 at Goodwill. Yes, so I'm using that. I have about 2 cups-ish of chicken in the bottom of this. Now I'm going to show you what I'm using. I have this here. This is Kroger fried chicken that we had a couple of nights ago. There were 2 chicken breasts that were so huge in here that I just went in and pulled the meat off, and that's what I have in here. It was about 1.5 of those chicken breasts. And then I just kept the thigh and 2 legs. We'll just reheat those in the air fryer, and that'll go along with this tonight.
So in the bottom here, I've got the chicken. My oven's ready. The chicken, the recipe says to go in with a cream of celery and a cream of chicken soup. I don't have cream of celery, so I'm gonna use the cream of chicken. That gets layered over top, and then you do a box of stuffing mix, and that goes on the top with some broth. So I'm gonna show you step by step as I put this together. First off, I'm gonna work on getting this cream of chicken mixed with 1 can of milk to pour over top. Now I could add another can of cream of chicken, but I just honestly don't feel like it's gonna need 2 cans of the cream soups. I could be wrong, we shall see, but I just feel like for the chicken I have, and the recipe is for the amount of chicken that I have, I still feel like this is gonna be enough. We will see. Okay, here we go. And we're just gonna pour this over top per the recipe instructions. Perfect. All right. Now, the recipe does not call for this, but I am going to add to it. I also talked about this last week as well, keeping a large gallon-sized Ziploc bag in my freezer that I can throw in little odds and end pieces of things that I have so they don't float all over the freezer. So this is a little bag of mixed veggies. So I'm just going to sprinkle these mixed veggies over the top. And I think that's gonna be really yummy in this chicken dressing casserole. I'm not worried about that. That will bake down just fine once it gets in the oven. Now I'm gonna work on the dressing to go on top. All right, for the broth, the recipe calls for 1.5 cups of broth. I am gonna go in with this, there we go, the Knorr chicken base. It's 1 teaspoon for 1 cup, I believe. Let me look here. 1 teaspoon to 1 cup of water. So I'm not gonna measure it out. I'm just gonna eyeball here. I want a little over a teaspoon. Yeah, that looks good. So I'm gonna get this mixed around, and then you're gonna mix your stuffing in with this, and then you're just gonna kind of crumble that across the top of the casserole and bake it. So this was easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right. I'm not too worried about every single solid granule dissolving. It will be fine once it gets in the oven. All right, here goes the stuffing mix. You could adjust this for your preference. Some people like more of a dry, crumbly stuffing. Some people like more of a wet, sort of moist stuffing. That's really up to you. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be so flavorful. And this looks just fine with me. Another thing you can do with these stuffing mixes, just to kind of bump up the flavor, my mom likes to cook some butter and some onion in some butter, and then make the box stuffing according to the directions, only using chicken broth instead of water. That really bumps up one of these stuffing mixes. Look at that. Oh, yum, yum. Okay, let me get my other pan here, or baking dish rather. Okay, here we go. And then I'm just gonna go in with this stuffing mix all over the top. This is, I think, gonna be really good. I've never made one like this, but all the components here are things that we love. And I just wanted a way to use that leftover chicken. It's a great quick meal to pick up Kroger fried chicken or something like that. It's very, very budget friendly as far as that goes. It was, I think, $7.99 for an 8-piece, but we just can't eat 8 pieces of chicken. So we actually ate 3 the night I bought it. So this is a way that we can just use up that chicken, because I don't like to waste. Okay, look at that. That looks really, really good. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the oven. Look below, I'll have the entire recipe linked. I think it's called Aunt Jewel's Chicken Casserole, but I will have it linked below. Y'all can check it out. All right, and here it is out of the oven. It did bake for the full 45 minutes. Wasn't quite sure if I would leave it in there that long, but this was baked uncovered, no foil or anything like that. Look how good this looks. I'm expecting it to taste really good too.
All right, this is James' plate. We just reheated the chicken in the air fryer, and look at this casserole. This has become a new favorite just with this one meal. So delicious and very easy. Any type of way that you would want to come up with your chicken on the bottom, your cream soup, and then your dressing. And of course, I think the added veggies was really, really a perfect thing to add in there. This was so good. Look down below to make sure and get the full recipe for that in case you want to try that. That's where you'll find the recipe. Thank you so much again, you guys, for watching another What's for Dinner video. Hopefully you found some inspiration, maybe some things you'd like to make at your house for your family. Thank you for watching. Always give it a thumbs up if you enjoy What's for Dinner, and if you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you around here. All right, y'all, see you the next time.